The news arrived just as father completed slicing the holiday bird. We sat gathered around the dark wood table in our family home's formal eating area, the identical space where father conducted business meals and marked significant deals for Martinez Builders during 28 years. Before enjoying this wonderful feast mother created, father announced, rising at the table's head while gripping his slicing blade, I must share crucial family information. My brother Miguel, 36, and sister Sophia, 33, sat upright with childlike anticipation of gifts. I remained silent at the distant end, already anticipating the coming revelation from hushed discussions I'd witnessed between our parents recently. Martinez Builders has sustained our family nearly 30 years. I created this enterprise from scratch, laboring 16-hour shifts, accepting dangers, making sacrifices, ensuring better futures for everyone. Miguel responded seriously. Father, you've created something remarkable. Everyone recognizes the Martinez reputation. Precisely, father continued, his tone reflecting pride earned through determined achievement of success. However, I'm 71 and mother desires enjoying retirement while maintaining health for traveling and grandchildren time. Sophia leaned eagerly forward. Will you finally allow Miguel and me controlling operations? Father's demeanor became more grave. Actually, we've chosen selling Martinez Builders completely. We received an irrefusable proposal. Silence filled the room except soft background music and distant street sounds. Sell. Miguel's voice trembled. Father, this represents our family heritage. This is our collective goal. Miguel, you've worked in technology marketing 5 years. Sophia operates freelance graphic design. Neither demonstrated genuine construction or management interest. This was accurate, though incomplete. The complete reality was both siblings expected inheriting Martinez Builders as retirement security, assuming they'd employ managers handling actual operations while collecting profits from father's lifetime efforts. We could study, Sophia objected. We'd contribute fresh viewpoints, perhaps expanding into additional markets. Sophia, you've never visited construction locations. You can't distinguish supporting walls from dividers. You consider management means social media posting and creating attractive logos. Father's voice sharpened, revealing years of frustration with children taking his achievements for granted while pursuing careers distant from family enterprise. Neither of you ever showed Martinez Builders' interest beyond financial security. I won't allow 30 years' labor being destroyed by people viewing it as effortless income. Miguel's face reddened with outrage. Father, that's unfair. We're your offspring. We deserve inheriting your creation. You deserve nothing, father stated firmly. Inheritance requires earning, not receiving. Neither earned Martinez Builders control rights. Sophia began crying. You're selling to outsiders? People unconcerned with our reputation or workers? I'm selling to people preserving my creation and protecting employee positions. Summit Companies maintains excellent industry standing and committed to maintaining current staff and management systems. Miguel and Sophia exchanged excited looks, clearly calculating their portions of a major business transaction. How much? Miguel asked directly. Father smiled proudly. 40 million. Summit Companies offered exactly Martinez Builders' worth. Equipment, contracts, reputation, everything. Sophia actually applauded. 40 million, father, that's incredible. It is incredible, father agreed. Mother and I plan enjoying every dollar. We're purchasing a Scottsdale retirement home, taking that European river journey we've discussed, and ensuring comfortable living money. The message was obvious. Miguel and Sophia wouldn't receive any $40 million. But father, Miguel protested, surely you're planning leaving something for your children. I'm leaving identical gifts my father gave me, father replied. The chance to create your own path. The same opportunity one had starting Martinez Builders with 5,000 savings and a used truck. I stayed quiet throughout this conversation, observing my siblings' expressions cycling through confusion, hope, disappointment, and increasing anger. Finally, I decided speaking up. "Father, who exactly is Summit Companies?" He turned toward me surprised, apparently forgetting my presence. Throughout adulthood, I'd been the quiet sister working in finance, rarely joining family business or money discussions. Summit Companies is a commercial construction and development firm located in Phoenix. They specialize in acquiring established regional contractors and helping them expand into new territories. "You're confident they'll properly care for Martinez builders?" "Absolutely. I've conducted thorough research. They have an excellent history, solid financing, and commitment to maintaining quality standards, making Martinez builders successful." I smiled, setting down my wine. "Father, I have something revealing about Summit Companies." "What's that, daughter?" "I am Summit Companies." The following silence was complete. You could hear a pin dropping on the Persian carpet. "What do you mean?" Father asked slowly. "I mean, I own Summit Companies. I founded the company 3 years ago, and I'm who made the $40 million offer purchasing Martinez Builders." Miguel stared at me like I'd sprouted another head. "That's impossible, Carmen. You work in accounting or similar." "I work in private equity and commercial development. Summit Companies is my holding company for construction and real estate investments throughout the Southwest." Sophia was shaking her head. "Carmen, this isn't amusing. We're discussing $40 million. "Yes, we are. $40 million I'm paying Father for a company I've been quietly studying and analyzing 2 years. I reached into my purse and retrieved a folder containing preliminary purchase agreements, all bearing my signature as managing member of Summit Companies LLC. "Father, when Summit Companies contacted Martinez Builders about potential acquisition, did you ever ask who owned the company?" Father's face had paled. "The attorneys said it was a private company based in Phoenix. They provided financial statements, references, fund proof. All legitimate. Summit Companies is indeed Phoenix-based, where I moved 4 years ago to be closer to Southwest commercial development markets. We have $340 million in managed assets and specialize in acquiring family-owned construction companies ready for succession planning." I stood up and walked to the window overlooking the backyard where Father taught me using power tools at 12, where I'd learned about construction, helping him build the deck and garden shed still standing near the back fence. The difference is Summit Companies isn't owned by strangers uncaring about Martinez Builders' legacy. It's owned by someone who's watched Father build this company since she was old enough, wearing hard hats and carrying tool belts. Miguel was frantically using his phone, probably trying to research Summit Companies online. "But Carmen, Mother said quietly, you never showed construction business interest. You attended college, got your finance degree, moved to Phoenix." "Mother, I got my finance degree specifically so I could understand construction's business side. I moved to Phoenix because it's one of the country's fastest growing construction markets, and I wanted learning how successful development companies operate." I turned back facing the table, looking at family members who'd spent years thinking. They knew exactly who I was and what I was capable of. For 8 years, I've been building Summit Companies into a regional powerhouse. We've acquired 12 construction companies, developed over $200 million in commercial real estate, and established ourselves as one of the most respected names in Southwest construction. The numbers seemed hitting them like physical blows. "But why didn't you tell us?" Sophia asked. "Because every time I tried discussing my work, you changed subjects or made jokes about me playing with numbers while real work was being done by people like Father. You made it clear that you saw me as the sister who'd abandoned family business to push papers around in an office." That was true. Throughout my 20s and early 30s, family gatherings had been exercises in gentle condescension. Miguel and Sophia would update everyone on their creative careers while I was dismissed as someone who'd chosen boring finance world over more interesting pursuits. 2 years ago, I continued, I started hearing rumors that Father was considering retirement. So, I began conducting formal analysis of Martinez Builders, the financials, market position, growth potential, succession challenges. Father was listening intently now, his business instincts overriding personal shock. What did you find? I found a well-run company with excellent relationships, solid contracts, and quality work reputation. I also found a business owner approaching retirement age with no clear succession plan, and 2 children who'd never demonstrated any interest in actually running a construction company. Miguel started protesting, but I held up my hand. Miguel, in 5 years of family dinners, you've never once asked Father about bidding processes, project management, safety regulations, or client relationships. Sophia, you've never inquired about equipment maintenance, workforce development, or industry trends. You've both been content letting Father handle boring business stuff while you pursued your own interests. But we always assumed, Sophia began. You assumed you'd inherit a successful business without having to understand how it actually works. You assumed Father would either run it forever or hire managers to run it for you while you collected profits. I walked back to the table and sat down, folding my hands in front of me. Father, the offer from Summit Companies isn't just about buying your company. It's about preserving what you've built and growing it into something even bigger. Martinez Builders would become the flagship acquisition for Summit's expansion into the Texas market. Texas. Father's eyes lit up with interest. We've identified opportunities for commercial development projects worth over $150 million in Dallas, Austin, and Houston. Martinez Builders' reputation and expertise would be the foundation for establishing Summit's presence in those markets. I pulled out another set of documents from my folder. But more than that, the acquisition would create opportunities for Martinez Builders' current employees to advance into management roles with a larger organization. Your project managers could become regional directors. Your supervisors could oversee multiple job sites. Your administrative staff could develop expertise in areas like business development and strategic planning. Father was nodding slowly, his businessman's mind processing the possibilities. And the Martinez name would be preserved? Summit Companies operates as a holding company, but our acquisitions maintain their local identity and reputation. Martinez Builders would continue being Martinez Builders, just with access to larger projects and greater resources. Miguel was staring at his phone screen, apparently having found Summit Companies' website. Carmen, this says Summit Companies has completed over $800 million in development projects. That's correct. And you own this company? I founded it and I own 78% of the equity. My partners own the remaining 22%. Sophia was doing mental calculations. Carmen, if the company has done $800 million in projects, my personal net worth is approximately $240 million, not counting the Martinez Builders acquisition. The silence returned, heavier this time. $240 million? Mother whispered. That's the current valuation. Yes. It fluctuates with market conditions and project completions, but that's the approximate number. Father sat back in his chair, looking at me with an expression I'd never seen before. Not the indulgent smile he'd always given his youngest daughter, but the respectful attention he reserved for serious business discussions. Carmen, if you own Summit Companies, why are you paying full market value for Martinez Builders? You could have just told me who you were, and we could have worked out a family arrangement. It was a good question and one I'd anticipated. Because I want to earn Martinez Builders, not inherit it. I want to prove that Summit Companies is the right choice for your legacy based on our capabilities, not our family relationship. I looked around the table at faces that were still processing this new reality. Also, because paying full market value ensures that you and Mother have complete financial security for your retirement. You've earned the right to enjoy the fruits of 30 years' hard work. Miguel was scrolling through more information on his phone. Father, Summit Companies has won awards from the Arizona Construction Association. They built that new medical complex in Scottsdale that was featured in Architectural Digest, and the mixed-use development in Tempe that won the Sustainability Award last year, Sophia added, apparently having looked up the same information. Father was studying my face with new attention. Carmen, how long have you been planning this? Honestly? Since I was 16 and you let me help manage the payroll during summer break. I've always known I wanted to be part of the construction industry, but I wanted to understand all aspects of it. The finance, the development, the strategic planning, not just the operational side. Why didn't you tell us? Because I wanted to prove myself independently first. If I'd told you 8 years ago that I was starting a construction company, what would you have said? Father considered this. I probably would have told you it was too difficult for someone without field experience. I would have worried about you competing in a male-dominated industry. And you would have offered to help, which would have made every success look like family favoritism rather than earned achievement. Miguel put down his phone and looked at me directly. Carmen, I have to ask. What happens to Sophia and me in all this? What do you mean? I mean, you're buying Father's company for $40 million. You're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. We're your siblings, but apparently we're also, what? Cut out of the family business entirely? It was a fair question, and I'd been thinking about it for months. Miguel, what do you want to happen? I don't know. I never expected this. I looked at Sophia. What about you? She was quiet for a moment, then said, I guess I always assumed I'd inherit a third of whatever Father built. Now I'm realizing that what Father built was the opportunity to build something myself, and I never took advantage of that opportunity. That's exactly right, Father said firmly. Carmen understood that lesson and acted on it. You two didn't. But it's not too late, I said. Summit Companies is always looking for talented people who understand our industry and our values. If you're genuinely interested in learning the construction business, there could be opportunities for you. Miguel's eyes lit up. You mean working for you? Working with me. Learning the business from the ground up, the same way I did. Starting in entry-level positions and proving that you can contribute value before advancing to greater responsibilities. What kind of entry-level positions? Sophia asked. Project coordination, client relations, administrative support, safety compliance. All the foundational work that teaches you how construction projects actually get completed. I could see them processing this offer, trying to decide whether they were willing to work their way up through a business they'd expected to inherit. The difference is that Summit Companies can offer you opportunities that Martinez builders never could. Larger projects, diverse markets, advanced training programs, clear advancement paths based on performance rather than family relationships. Father was nodding approvingly. Carmen, that's exactly the right approach. They need to earn their place in the business world, just like you did. Over the following months, the transition from family drama to business partnership was gradual, but successful. The acquisition of Martinez Builders went through without complications, and Father was impressed with Summit's professionalism throughout the due diligence process. Miguel decided to take a position with Summit Companies as a project coordinator. Starting at entry level, but with the advantage of Father's mentorship and my strategic guidance, he discovered that he actually enjoyed the problem-solving aspects of construction management and had a natural talent for client relations. Sophia chose to continue with her design business, but began specializing in commercial and residential development projects, often working as a subcontractor for Summit's marketing and branding needs. She found ways to combine her creative skills with business strategy that benefited both her independent practice and the larger family enterprise. Most importantly, Father found that retirement wasn't about completely stepping away from Martinez Builders, but about transitioning from daily operations to strategic advising. He remained involved as a consultant to Summit Companies, helping with client relationships and mentoring the next generation of project managers. The Thanksgiving dinner that had started with, "You're getting nothing," had ended with all of us Getting something more valuable than inheritance, the opportunity to build genuine professional relationships based on mutual respect and earned achievement. 6 months after the acquisition, we held the first annual Martinez Builders Employee Appreciation Dinner at the same country club where Father had celebrated major contracts for 3 decades. But this time the celebration was bigger, recognizing not just the completion of successful projects, but the successful transition to a new phase of growth and opportunity. As I stood at the podium looking out at employees who had become partners in a larger vision, at family members who had evolved from entitled heirs to contributing professionals, at Father whose pride was now based on what we were building together rather than what he was protecting alone, I realized that the best family businesses aren't the ones that get passed down unchanged. They're the ones that evolve with each generation, growing stronger by combining tradition with innovation, preserving values while embracing new possibilities. The announcement that had seemed like an ending had actually been a beginning.